Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing a review on a small candle business called Circa 1955. I believe that might be a sub-company of Lux Illume. But anyways, my candle is in the 3-wick format in the scent Mickey Waffles. I purchased this a few months ago, so back in the day, I believe I might have had a 10 to 15% off discount code, but they used to cost $32, but now the 3-wicks cost $39.99 ship. I personally liked how the prices were before, and I also believe that they offered free shipping on orders over $100. Anyways, to give you more information, the 3-wick tumbler has 16 ounces and it has a pretty long burn time of 80 to 85 hours. Candles are hand poured in small batches. The wax used is vegan, non-GMO, 100% soy wax, and it says that the soy wax is obtained through a renewable source in North America. There are no additives or fillers in the wax, and the wicks are metal-free cotton with paper core wicks. So, okay, the scent description on the website doesn't really give too much information. It just reads, "I've never understood the almost cult following these waffles seem to have until I tried one. They're definitely magical. Enjoy the scent of the perfect blend of waffles and syrup. Top notes, maple syrup, middle notes, batter, base notes, sugar, and vanilla." To briefly talk about the packaging itself, my label, I don't know if you can tell on screen, but I do have bubbles on the bottom corner right here, and I feel like it's slightly crooked. But besides that, when the candle was performing, aka when I soaked up some wax, I did like how the Mickey Waffles label was very beautifully illuminated, and I do like that you can see the wax. However, I think that's also one of the cons is that this is a clear vessel, so you are able to see, in my instance, and the other two candles that I burned, there's a lot of Klingon wax residue, and my wax pool is murky. I'll get into that in a little bit. But on cold, the strength I got was a 6.5 out of 10, so I was a little bit worried that this candle would be on the lighter side. And on cold, I got more of a salted maple syrup note instead of just like a super artificial maple syrup note like how Bath and Body Works has. Definitely not as cloying, and I feel like it's more realistic. I think that the batter note and the vanilla note was present, but I feel like it really shines when you go to burn it, and I feel like this is one of those scents that transforms. So it smells slightly different on cold versus while burning. But okay, let me go ahead, show you an overhead view, and I'll talk to you more about the issues that I've been having with this candle and other candles from circa 1955. All right, so here's an overhead view of my wax pool. I've currently had it burning for, I would say, like 2 hours and 30 minutes. And you see, it's very, very dirty. And I feel like the main issue with these candles from circa 1955 are the wicks themselves. Even from my first burn, I think I might have included some B-roll, but first off, the wax pool, once it liquefied, and even like before it liquefied fully, it was just very frothy and bubbly, like how you sometimes find some jellos that they're like bubbly at the top. Well, this one was almost like it almost reminded me of like a witch's cauldron, or like when you're boiling water. And I started getting these like black swirls in the wax, you can see right there. And that caused a lot of issues with the performance. So when it was performing well, I would say my medium-sized bedroom, the strength and throw would be maybe about a 7 out of 10, but that was very few and far between. So besides the wax getting very bubbly, which was a bit odd, I've never had a candle do that, but it's almost like the wicks themselves started shedding this like black layer. I a few times had to get a Q-tip and kind of like clean off the wicks themselves, or even get like a paper towel and try to do that, but they just kept molting, I guess. So I think that is what's causing the main issue. Another thing is that these wicks tend to curl into themselves. So a few times I left the room, came back, and noticed that one of my wicks had gone off. So these are the kind of flat curling type wicks. So I noticed that I do have to be very conscious and straighten them out after every burn. Also, I feel like my strength and throw is the most, I guess, potent around the first hour, because afterwards my flames get punier and punier Right now they're a bit low, and I have soaked up wax on 3 occasions, and it always kind of gives it a second life, but then the flames get punier and punier. Thankfully, right now, I don't have any more of that like bubble action going on, but it was definitely a bit odd. And even now, and that has happened to every single candle from this company that I burned. So I've previously burned, I believe it was like Oogie's Lemonade from the Halloween collection, and the lemon blueberry candle, which the lemon blueberry candle was really light. I could barely detect it. Oogie's Lemonade was stronger. And this one, I would say it's like medium-ish. Strength and throw in my medium-sized bedroom right now, how the wicks are, I'd give it more of a 6 out of 10. The main notes that I get while it's burning right now, I feel like the batter note really takes center stage, and then it would be the vanilla. The batter note that I get, I would say it's more of like you have the batter, it's by the skillet, and you're just starting to put like the uncooked batter onto the pan. So there's not really a ton of maple syrup. I definitely got that a lot more on cold, but it's still somewhat present and slightly sweetened. So I would say if you're someone who really dislikes maple syrup notes, this might be okay for you because it's just like the tiniest hint of maple syrup. Let me go ahead change the angle, but yeah, you've already seen overhead view and I'm sure B-roll, but this is just, oh gosh, there's like a lot of swirls. I guess one good thing is that I haven't noticed any visible soot emitting from the candle, but I've been a bit worried that this has kind of altered the fragrance or like what it would do to the burn performance. Thankfully, I feel like the scent smells pretty okay. Like even after I soaked up the wax, which my wax pool was a bit murkier than this, because I did take up maybe like 2 cotton balls worth of wax. I haven't gotten that like scorched or distorted note that sometimes some gourmand fragrances get when the wax pool is getting dirty. So I guess that's one positive. Overall, I feel like this candle has a heavy batter note. I think much of the maple syrup note goes away again while it is burning. I think that the smell of this mixed in with the vanilla, if I can imagine these waffles, I feel like they would be very filling, almost like so filling and carb heavy that I would need like a tall glass of like water or orange juice or just something to kind of wash down these waffles. Again, very filling, but not too sweet. Carb heavy, salt nuances, more so on cold than while burning. To go briefly back to the performance, besides the fact of the just dirty wax pool and the wicks are like melting or I don't know what's happening, but the black outer part of the wick is just kind of sloughing off. Even though I constantly clean it with like a paper towel or even like a cotton swab, that still happens. But this candle, since it's a slow burner, at least in my opinion, it could be all these wicks and wax issues, but it takes over an hour for this candle to fully pull out without a hurricane. Um, Early on, since I noticed these like dudding wicks, I opted to not trim them. And I feel like that helped slightly, but I feel like if I didn't trim them, they would also have a tendency to curl more. So it was definitely a balance between not trimming or like trimming too much because I feel like either way you were kind of sorry out of luck. So yeah, overall, I don't think that I would recommend. I personally wouldn't repurchase this candle. I'd probably wait to see if there are any changes made to the wicks and wax formula by circa 1955. I don't believe there have been any changes, but I have one more candle to go, and I have a feeling that it'll be the same issue as these last 3, which mainly are the wicks and wax issue of the dirty wax pool, the wicks kind of sloughing off, the black swirls in the wax, and like the frothy, bubbly, liquefied wax pool. But at least thankfully, I'm able to smell this candle. I don't think it's a scent that I would repurchase, even if it did perform at its peak, which was about a 7 out of 10. I think it's very much kind of like a one note or a blender scent. I feel like I would have to mix this with like, let's say I can mix it with another foodie scent, like a strawberry waffle situation, or chocolate for like a chocolate waffles situation. But yeah, it's definitely more of a mixer scent in my opinion. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions or if you've had better luck with this company. For now, I'm just going to burn the remaining candle that I have and probably not purchase unless something drastic happens. But yeah, the label itself, I really like it. And oh, I haven't shown you how the sides of my candle looks like. But since it's been burning slowly, I do have a lot of like that soy wax residue cling on, and my wax pull is tiny, even though I'm around hour 2.5, and it does look dirty because of the previous issues that I mentioned. I'm probably just going to burn this straight through and stop soaking up the wax because I feel like that is a bit of a hassle and I kind of feel like I'm wasting some of the wax. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let me know if you have any questions and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.